All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am sick as a dog, but I'm excited to be here today, guys. I just got back from Philly. Just make sure the stream is all right. Max the Ripper in here. What's up, dude? What's up, Max? Good to see you in here, my man. My actual real-life friend in the chat that I played vanilla with. Groomsman at my wedding. Maxwell Palmer, how's it going, my man? I can't create my characters until I know which server we're going to. Yeah, I know, Alan. We're going to be talking about that today. Apologies, guys. My voice is kind of ate up. I'm going to be sniffling a little bit here. Trying to stay hydrated, you know, drinking some of this airborne stuff. Who knows if it actually works or not. But just trying to get the immune system up. Pretty sick, pretty sick. But I came back from Philly. I went to a wedding. My wife's kid brother got married over the weekend, and I got to link up with Def Camp. Got to link up with Melderon. It was great, man. We got some cheesesteaks over there. The real Philly cheesesteaks, man. For those of you who've been to Philly, you have to order it in a special way with the whiz and all that. We got some cheesesteaks. And then we went back to their new apartment. It was a really nice apartment they got. We had smoke a stogie. Drank some Rocky Mountain spring water, some Coors Light. You know, it was a good time getting to see them over there. It was kind of one of the last times we're gonna have a real social event like this before this game comes out and we go super ham. How were the boys? They were really, really good, guys. Welcome everybody. So no starting screen or anything. I just started it up. Again, not feeling the best, but I felt pretty motivated to stream today. Because I haven't gotten a chance to touch base with you guys with regard to the server stuff. Server stuff came out. They announced the official servers, right? So I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the server numbers, layering, streamer servers, all that juicy stuff. We'll be talking about that today on the stream. Today also is the day that we create potentially create the characters we're going to play in Classic. Like, you know, we may end up re-rolling or something if they roll out new servers, but today may actually be the day we create our characters. So for those of you who have been living under a rock, or you've been on vacation, or you've been working, today you are able to reserve up to 3 names per account on one of these aforementioned servers. So it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. Do I sound sick? I feel like I sound so sick right now, but I'm actually feeling okay. It's the type of thing where I feel fine, but my body's just not quite there yet. You know, when you fly a lot, you take a bunch of different planes all the time. I just did the London trip, and then we did this trip. Man, you get ate up from traveling, man. Like those planes are like a freaking petri dish, man. I'm about to start traveling with those Chinese masks on, because I kind of knew it was gonna happen too, man. Kind of predicted it, man. I was like, dude, I'm gonna get sick from this trip. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness gracious. Holy moly, dude. Cheese and rice. Sarmonican dropping bombs in the chat. 10k biddies from Sarmonican. Thank you so much. Character creation hype. 2 weeks to go, bro. Absolutely. We are very, very close. Thank you so much for the 10,000 bits. That is a very, very generous donation. Sarmonican, biggest supporter of the channel, throwing Benjis in the chat like an absolute young god. Thank you so much. Sphinx4 subscribed with Twitch Prime. Subscribed for 2 months. Currently on a 1-month hot streak. My man, thank you very much. Thank you. You sound all right? No worries? All right. Well, I'm trying to stay hydrated, you know, trying to recover. So thankfully this is the last major trip I'll have, you know, before Classic comes out. You know, I cleared my schedule and everything should be smooth sailings now from this point. But yeah. So, all right, guys, we'll get into it here in a second. Have you guys seen this clip? Pretty sure all you guys have seen this clip at this point. This monkey news clip. We're gonna play it. We are gonna play it. Where is it, dude? Where is this monkey news clip? Huh? Blizzard needs to fix learning before Classic WoW launch. Top week. Should be here. There we go. We'll watch that in a second. So I do kind of think layering is over. Like, they're gonna have layering. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, they're decided on layering. They want layering. They built this new technology out. So it is what it is. We're gonna have that, right? But I do think that we can still do something about the low server count. The low server count concerns me, guys. It really does. I'm curious what you guys think about it. Again, I haven't had a chance to touch base with you guys since I left to go to the wedding on Philly, but Blizzard announced that they're rolling out with, what is it, 11 servers for NA. EU gets something like 4 PvP servers, only 2 of which are English speaking. This stuff concerns me, guys. One second. Got a case of the sniffles. It concerns me, man. What do you guys think about this? Please avoid Asmon's server. Yeah, boy, have I heard that a lot over the past couple days. Been a minute. Nice to see you streaming again. Thank you very much, Crits. Yeah, I'm a bit sick today, guys, but I'm trying to hang in there, and I really want to talk about this server stuff with you guys, kind of feel you guys out. It's a concern. I'm starting to feel like a freaking crybaby when it comes to every little thing. I'm always having issues with it, but I can't help but feel like Blizzard is like shooting themselves in the foot here. 11 servers seems low. Seems real low. And I broke it down a little bit towards what the potential issues would be towards having a low server count. Now, I have no doubt that Blizzard is willing to roll up new servers, right? It seems like that's what they're going to do. It seems like the game is going to come out, and then they're just going to make data-driven decisions, and they're going to open up more servers as demand permits, right? So it seems like they're going to open them up, but that's not a guarantee, even though I think it's highly likely. But it also kind of makes this character reservation process sort of DOA, because a lot of people are trying to avoid streamer servers. So, okay, quick poll, and I'm a streamer, man. Like, consider me a streamer. Some of you guys don't consider me a streamer. I'm a streamer, so factor this in your decision making. But one's in the chat if you're trying to avoid streamer servers. If I was you, I would try to avoid streamer servers, personally. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing I want to talk about later, too. The pros and cons of streamers. And what's good about having streamers? Okay, here's the thing I think we can all agree on, right? Playing on a realm with big streamers has pros and cons. There's advantages and disadvantages, like all things in life. The grass is always greener. But I think we can all agree that it's a different type of experience. It's like, imagine playing on a server and you have some like Kim Kardashian of the server and everybody knows him, like Asmongold or something like that. That's a different experience. I feel like a lot of us out there, you know, we want to carve out but a slice of Azeroth for ourselves, and to kind of feel like we're on equal footing with a lot of people there, to build out a specific server narrative and culture, and to have a high impact on your own server and feel like, you know, you can transform the server and the onus is in your hands and you're going to build this awesome community. Maybe that's a selfish thing. That's what I was envisioning, though. I was really looking forward to, still am, but it's going to be harder, of, you know, picking a server and really just making it awesome, man. Like with just playing with all the boys and feeling like we could actually pull that off and make it like kind of make it unique to the, man, I don't know where I'm going with this at the same time, because you can do this on these servers too. It's just more difficult. Like, what's going to happen when you only have 11 servers is you're going to get these big metropolis type servers, right? And it's almost at the point where if you're trying to avoid streamers, there's pretty much no way, right? I mean, there's just going to be big streamers in every server. There's only 11 servers. Everybody's going to try and dodge each other, right? Everybody's going to be trying to dodge streamer servers and trying to like snipe out, find information of where everyone's rolling. And it's just going to end up, everybody's going to be playing on servers with big streamers. So, how do you guys feel about that? It seems like regardless, if you want to play with me, don't want to play with me, if you don't want to play with any of the other streamers, I'm not like a big streamer. I'm just probably a medium-sized streamer. But, you know, I really don't blame you guys if you don't want to play with as many streamers as possible and just try and have it be your own quiet slice of Azeroth, because I low-key kind of want that. F in the chat for not being able to avoid streamers. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So let me go over to this little handy dandy PowerPoint. You guys know I love my freaking PowerPoints. Where is it? Stream Deck. Okay. Okay, let me go over here. Negative effects of having too few servers. And we can, like, talk about this together, guys. If you have any stuff we want to add to this, there are also positive effects too. So even when it comes to layering, I added a positive effects slide and a negative impacts or effects thing too, because I want to try and not drink the Kool-Aid too much and try not be too biased here and try and understand that there's two sides of the coin here. But let's talk. I do feel like layering is GG, man. Like, they're gonna have layering, right? Like, Blizzard invented this thing. It's happening. Nothing we can do about it. But we still probably could do something about the server number. It's not too late at all. Blizzard has showed that they listen, right? Sorry, I have to fix something right now. Got some more Twitch Primes. Man Bear Mikey subscribed at tier 1. Oh, not a Twitch Prime, tier 1. They've subscribed for 2 months straight, currently on a 2-month streak. Thank you so much, Man Bear, dude. And Stay Tid subscribed to Twitch Prime. Thank you very, very much, man. Sarmonican says, I think they're looking at stress test numbers and considering the past of vanilla private servers. There have only ever been 2 or 3 popular vanilla private servers at any one time, and those servers were worldwide. They're doing 11 servers for US and some for EU and China. I mean, they have... Yeah, I mean, between all regions, right? Probably like 20 servers? Is that overshooting it, man? I don't know, man. I feel like layering is here to stay. They're gonna have layering. That's another huge yikes that I've been crying about like a little whiny man-child for months and months. You guys know this already, but it is what it is. But the server stuff kind of exacerbates the layering problem. So one thing we said before, we're gonna have like Metropolis servers. So they're gonna be these huge, what, 50K, 100K servers? Is that crazy? I mean, aren't we looking at like potentially 100K on a server? Am I smoking crack, or is that real? Because let's say there's a mill people playing in NA. I think that's a pretty conservative estimate, right? At least on launch, for sure, right? Let's say there's a mill, 11 servers. I'm no mathematician, but, you know, looking at upwards of 100K. You know, 11 servers, so let's say it's 1.1. There you go. So we're looking at Metropolis servers with... There's no way around it. You're going to have big personalities, big streamers on the server. It is what it is. With the whole idea of a Metropolis server, you're going to have more layers, right? And maybe fatter layers. I know Blizzard kind of originally said they wanted to do like 3K, 3,500 layers. If they do 3K or 3,500 layers, how many freaking layers would that be? I feel like they're going to do like 10K layers. So... Yeah, no, I'm saying, I know, Sha, I'm no mathematician, man, but you know what I'm saying. But it's 1.1. What is it, like 75, 80, something like that. We may have really big layers. And it seems like they're going to have big layers too. So more layers and big layers. Because if they had 3,500 people per layer, and let's say it's 100K on the server, that's a hell of a lot of layers, right? Harder time avoiding streamers or specific communities. I also do think... There's less server pride. What do you guys think about this, having less server pride? Because when Vanilla WoW came out, let's hear it in the chat if anyone knows. There's usually some big brains who just know weird stuff like this. How many servers did Vanilla WoW roll out with in NA? Anybody know? How many servers did Vanilla WoW, or the original OG WoW, start with back in the day? Let's see. Reggae1 subscribe to Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, Reggae. Appreciate it, dude. Welcome to the channel, my man. Nice to meet you. Yep, Soul Crit, 100% on the dot, on the money. On the money. 89 servers. Cargos, can you name your character the same as a real character name in game, Malfurion? I'm not sure, Jacob. They had 1,000 people in here. Wow, you'll love to see that. Welcome, everybody. Jesus, it's a lot of people in here. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Feeling kind of sick today. I'm gonna try and keep up. So, Vanilla WoW has some weird naming restrictions. If you go into the actual files and you look at what was banned, There is some weird, random, kind of arbitrary stuff that was banned as names. It's possible that you're not able to name it as Malfurion or something. There's some just wonkiness to that in general. But, okay, so when Vanilla WoW originally rolled out, there were 89 servers, man. And that's one of the beautiful things about Classic WoW, feeling like you had this unique, special, static, intimate, you know, server that you would play on and get to know everybody on the server. Isn't that kind of a cool thing when you get to know everybody on your server? You recognize the same names and you're able to build more of a reputation up, you know. So I kind of think there's going to be less server pride because it's going to be, you're not going to know everybody on your server, man. 100k people on your server, you're not going to know everybody on there. It's going to be harder to differentiate yourself. You're going to have these e-celebs walking around everywhere. I'm not sure, man. That's something that concerns me, right? But at the same time, because I'm trying to think of the positives and negatives, I'm from the greatest city on earth, New York City, and I still have a lot of pride for New York City. New York City, best city ever to me. And I've been to quite a few cities at this point. So I don't know, maybe it is still possible to have server pride, because New York City is, you know, an absolute melting pot. It's huge, about 7 or 8 million there right now. So what do you guys think about more or less server pride? You think it's going to be more or less? Yeah, back in Classic, people had personal rep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that a lot of us right now that are trying to play Classic WoW, or at least some of you, don't necessarily love the sort of super hyper memey Twitch culture. Some people do love that. Like, you have people from cut from different cloths, you know, born into different generations of gamers, and having like different servers that can reflect those different communities and sensibilities. You know, it seems like the play, man. If you had more servers, but if we only have 11, man, I don't know. Which borough? Oh, Manhattan, man. Upper East Side, 86 in Lexington. And you pay to server swap. Now, what I think they're going to eventually do is they'll probably... Oh, man, I don't know. So what Blizzard is probably going to do, again, I think a lot of people have been thinking about this for a while. They're going to roll out with these 11 servers, and then they're just going to inevitably have to make more. So why not make a few more to begin with, first of all? But it seems like they're going to just spin some up as we go based on the data. That's going to DOA this character reservation thing. And it's going to look kind of bizarre. I don't know. You think it's going to have less? Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I think less server pride when you have these big metropolis servers. And a lot of people want to carve out their own slice of Azeroth and kind of make it their own. And that's harder to do in this type of environment. You got any idea what the EU Realm streamers are playing on? No idea, man. Dan Naugan subscribed to Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that, man. Layering ruined the stress test for me. So Def Camp and Melderon came out with a video about this recently. Some people, so there's some other people that have been talking about it. I'm seriously glad to start seeing that layering. People are starting to rally around layering. Look at this right now, guys. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. 5K upvotes on this post on the Classic WoW Reddit. Someone donote, I'm hearing it. Who did it?
Cargos, you're the man. Send you a DM on Discord about the guild. Check it out when you have a minute. It involves leveling. Keep up the good work.
Thanks very much, Mafortis, dude.
Community.
Thank you for the $5, my man. I appreciate that. I'll check it out after the stream, absolutely. So on the Classic WoW Reddit, subreddit, I think a lot of you guys probably have seen this before. I saw it already, but I wanted to play it on the stream. The title of the post is Layering Seriously Needs to Get Fixed Before Release, Can't Even Play with Friends. And it's a clip from Moo UK, Monkey News, Big Monkey, Big Private Server, Big Brain, PvP, Ape. I'll just play it, man.
What's got fucking layered? Where's my friends? Help! Where are my mates? Where's my fucking group?
So you guys saw that, right? He had some weird wonkiness affect him as he was just in the starting area. And this is something people have been talking about for a while now. There's a lot of like gray area here of implications of layering that aren't obvious, but will just manifest in the coming days and weeks and months as it's out. Just weird stuff will happen. You just have this whole nother kind of trans-dimensional mechanic in the game, and weird stuff's going to start popping up. And, you know, it's not the most mind-blowing clip ever, but to see 5K upvotes on this is crazy, because it's felt like every time I brought up layering, people are like, dude, stop whining, man. Just be happy that we're having the game. Trust me, I'm excited to have Classic WoW. One's in the chat if you're excited for Classic WoW regardless. I just want the game, you know, to be in the best form, you know? And pretty much, I don't know, seeing 5K, it really was cool to see this get so much traction. 5K upvotes on layering. And when you get these, again, I think layering is kind of GG. We're going to have layering regardless, but I think that having these big Metropolis servers is going to exacerbate the layering problem. Okay? Because more layers at the end of the day, the TLDR thing about why having more layers is worse is that you have access to more realms worth of resources. So again, I want to just reiterate that fact. People saying layering is not a big deal, it's only going to be in for a week or two, layering not a big deal, right? The only official verbiage we have from Blizzard at this point is that layering will be in until Phase 2. That's the only thing official we have. It is possible, and dare I say highly probable? Maybe not highly probable, but it's possible, very possible, that they wean layering off pretty soon, pretty quick. If you remember back during the demo a bunch of months ago now at this point, they said you're only going to be able to play for an hour at a time, and then you're going to have to log out, and it was all to manage the demand and the craziness on the server, right? But they ended up taking that away, like after the first day. So I hope, fingers crossed, that they do the same thing with layering. That's a possibility. But when you have the Metropolis servers, you have these humongoid servers with like 80 to 100k people on it. What are they going to do? Are they just going to keep layering on there? I mean, these are going to be huge servers. They're just going to have a massive queue time. Not exactly sure what they're going to do. But with regard to layering, was it Chris Metzen? Someone in the chat's going to know. 1,300 people in YouTube. Cheese and rice, guys. That is a lot of people in the house. What is up, everybody? Today's the day. We're making our characters today. Tom's in the chat. Have they made Asian servers? If not, why not? They made one Korean server, right? That was kind of rough to see. I think Korea has literally one server. I think it's not even a PvP or a normal. Not to say I don't really know what the Korean demand is or whatever, but they don't have a PvP and a PvP. They just have one server over in Korea. That's what I've heard. So I think it was Chris Metzen who said this. He said one of the things about Classic WoW is that the world is its own character. The world is respected. It's one of the things that made Classic WoW feel so good. Is it feels so unapologetic when you're playing in Classic WoW. It feels like the world could give less of a fuck about your existence. It is just there doing its own thing. It's this robust beast, and you respect the integrity of the world, right? And when you have these more layers, layering in general, but when you have a ton of layers, you're kind of messing with the integrity of that world, because you're going to give the players access to more and more instances, more and more realms worth of resources. So the way I would describe layering, even if it does have a cooldown, right? It seems like they're going to have a cooldown on it. Maybe it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If anybody knows officially what Blizzard said about layering, if it was a 5 or 10 minute cooldown, it seems like they're going to have some countermeasures in place. They're not oblivious to it. They've definitely heard the feedback. I would imagine they might have a 5 minute cooldown, then it maybe becomes 10 minutes, then maybe 15 minutes, right? And it kind of gets bigger and bigger, something like that. They're probably going to put something like that in it. It's still going to allow you to basically realm transfer every 5-10 minutes. You're going to be able to swap to another layer, and you're going to effectively be able to just realm transfer. And what are the effects of that? What are the effects of being able to realm transfer every 5-10 minutes, something like that? We can look at some of the stuff here. And I'm thinking about making, if this is really the meta game that we're presented with, if this is going to be the meta, then you may as well run with it, right? And just follow basic the human incentives, right? You know, you got to make things, if there's a way to do something, people are going to do it, right? They're going to take the path of least resistance. And if this is part of the meta, there's no use fighting with it. You might as well roll with it and make guides around it, how to manipulate layering to your advantage. But here are some of the impacts of having layering. And again, I think layering is going to be there, but when you have these Metropolis huge servers, you're going to have more layers, fatter layers, and these issues here will be exacerbated. It's not going to be like 2-3 layers, because that's what I was thinking initially. You're going to have maybe 2-3 layers worth of resources to swap to, and it's not going to be that big of a deal. But if you have freaking 10 layers, This is the stuff that you're going to be dealing with. Layer dodging. So let's say you're being ganked, or people are chasing you down as a streamer or something, you can layer dodge. Or second, in Gurubashi Arena, you guys saw that clip. In Stranglethorn, being able to get the chest there. Cross-layer auction house. I do feel like they're going to put this in. What do you guys think about this? Cross-layer auction house. I think they're going to put that in. And what is that going to mean for the auction house? Any economists in here? Like 1,700 people in all the chats. I feel like there's got to be an economist in here out of everybody. It's going to mean, to my mind, a lot more resources. A lot more resources on the auction house. And that may be that may be a good thing. You know, people say, oh, it's a good thing. There's more resources on the auction house. But is it? What are the costs? What is the cost benefit of that? Because that's messing with the pacing of content, right? A big part of the formula for success in Classic WoW is the pacing of content, the scarcity, the stuff that the fact that you couldn't have your cake and eat it too in Classic WoW is a big reason why it's so successful. When you manipulate when you manipulate the pacing of content and add just like a huge inflation of resources, all I'm saying is there's some sort of negative impact there. It's hard to kind of quantify or explain it. That's one thing. All the rare spawns. So all the rare spawns, it could be Broken Tooth, right? Low key, kind of hype for the hunters out there being able to get Broken Tooth, because that was one of the worst parts about being a hunter in Classic, having to tame all the damn pets. There's no Lupos. Lupos is normalized here, so there's no point to get Lupos, but being able to layer swap to get Broken Tooth is going to make that way easier. Not just Broken Tooth, though. There's rare spawns out there that drop greens. There's rare spawns out there, so you can manipulate layering to get access to multiple shots at rare spawns. And that ties into the next point, Title Charm. Title Charm. I know it's just a PvP item, but stuns in vanilla are rare, and they're very high impact. So getting a ranged stun with no animation, trinket there, in a PvP meta where trinket swapping and having a trinket rotation is such a big deal, Title Charm, super powerful item. It's something that's not only a big win for yourself when someone obtains it, but it's a big win for your faction. People know. And it's cool when you're operating in a vanilla WoW environment. When someone gets an item, everybody knows about it and is excited for it, and it's like a big deal. Isn't that part of why Classic was so good? When you inspect someone, you see good gear, it really meant something. You're like, man, this dude's been putting in those hours. This guy's been putting in that work, If you see a Title Charm on someone, don't you want to be impressed? If I slash inspect someone and see a Title Charm, I'm going to go, damn, dude, you have a Title Charm? Yo, congratulations, man. You got a Title Charm? Dude, big plays. Title Charm, man. So, what if everybody gets Title Charm? And I think you're going to be able to, wow, 1,500 people on YouTube. Holy moly. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Countdown to name reservation. Anyone got the exact hours yet? It's 3 p.m. PDT. So right now the time is 11:05 a.m. I'm in California here. And 3 p.m. PDT. So that is in 4 hours from now. Slightly under 4 hours. We're going to be able to make our characters that we're going to invest way too many hours into, potentially. In T-minus 4 hours, guys. So it's going to be real. It's not just going to be the type of thing where you go to the site and you type in a name. You're going to actually be able to log into the client, create your character, find the right hair, get the right skin tone, get the right eyeballs, get the right, complexion, get the right facial hair. You want a little goatee, you want a little beard, whatever you want. You're going to be able to do all the aesthetics of it, and you're going to see that guy just sitting there gloriously in the login screen. And for those of you who set up your WTF folders on the stress test, make sure you name it the same thing. So it's you just go. As soon as the game comes out, you just hit enter. You just hop right in the game. Everything's all set up for you properly. Everything is going to be good to go, right? Almost 1,600, man. Welcome everybody in here. Crazy, man. Ton of people in here. Almost 2,000 across everything. Cheese and rice, man. Can we get some cheese and rice in the chat? All right, where were we? So Title Charm. Don't you guys want to be able to be impressed by gear again? A lot of the retail players, they've been feeling that for years and years. You inspect someone, you see like some RNG Titan Forge lottery on them with random primary and secondary stats. Being able to inspect people and see a Title Charm and go, wow, man, good shit. So vendor items. Here's another thing people don't really think about as well. Vendors in Classic WoW sell rare items. Frost Oil vendor, Devil Sword recipe vendor. Even if you're leveling, if you want to get some of the green weapons and stuff, those have a limited quantity. Also potions. There's stuff that's sold in limited quantity from vendors. Some stuff is pretty rare. You know, even if you're just trying to get a bronze tube, shout out to Duskwood. You know that quest where you got to get a bronze tube, and your engineering guy in Duskwood doesn't have bronze tube. Switch layer, see if he has a bronze tube. So vendor items is another one. Devil Sword, another one. So people have been hearing about the Devil Sword Mafia. Devil Sword, what I'm talking about here is killing the Devil Sword in Ungoro Crater. You can skin them for their leather. It's the only place where you get Devil Sword leather.
Which server you and team playing on? Really want to run with you guys.
Holy moly, THC Force Ghost, thank you so much for the 15 bucks, man. We are going to announce it soon, man. As soon as we get up all situated, going to announce it to everybody. So yeah, today's the day. We'll be announcing the realm we're going to be playing on as well. So you can feel free to dodge it or get set up there to gank us mercilessly, whatever you guys want to do. What is the stress test? Stress test just ended, so unfortunate if you guys weren't able to play on it, but it's not a huge deal. You can probably get someone else's WTF folder and try and rename it or manipulate it. What I mean by WTF folder, that's the folder where your character's saved variables are stored under, like where all your keybinds are at, you know, how you're configuring your add-ons and stuff like that. That's all in your WTF folder. So if you didn't play on the stress test, it's probably not too late. You probably just have to get someone else's WTF folder and try and change it so that it reflects your own character. I don't know too much about that stuff though, so you might have to just big brain it. So Devil Sword. Yeah, Devil Sword. Devil Sword is kind of a perfect way to take advantage of layering. So Devil Swords, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's like a 5 or 15 minute respawn time per Devil Sword. There's like 4 or 5 Devil Swords running around in Ungoro at any given time. There are different skin colors, and they just they patrol around in a very static way. If you just Google like Devil Sword spawns classic WoW, you'll see where they pat around. And there's like 4 or 5 Devil Swords. You kill them, you skin them. It's the only way to get Devil Sword leather. The Devil Sword armor set is a leather armor set, and it's pre-raid best in slot for hunters, for rogues, for warriors. Everybody needs Devil Swords. It's a trade good that retains its value very, very well as a server progresses, and it's also something that you can control really easily because there's only one place you can get it all. It's in the crater. You can kill everything, and then pretty much after you kill everything, try and find additional layers while your layer is cooling down and they're going to respawn. You can layer swap over to another layer and try and find more Devil Sword to kill. Or potentially, if there are people controlling a certain layer, you could try and snipe out another layer that doesn't have people there. Either way, this is like a perfect way to take advantage of the layering system. We're going to see a massive amount of Devil Sword. I'm imagining reserves in 4 hours, absolutely, yep. But it's not 5x the amount of Devil Swords, but also 5x the amount of warriors, rogues, hunters going for Devil Swords. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think it lines up perfectly like that, though, just because I feel like there will be some empty layers. I don't know. I feel like there's not always going to be Devil Sword Mafias controlling every single layer. I feel like it's going to be easier to get Devil Swords. It's a good point, though. It's a good point. With these additional realms worth of resources, there's going to be also just way more people looking for this Devil Sword stuff. So the same thing applies for Lotus farming. Lotus used to make flasks and kind of spawn in a somewhat static, predictable way. So if you can come up with a good route and just swap layers and farm lotuses. Another one that people haven't really talked about too much is something I was thinking about earlier. Is the areas that have pretty much guaranteed high node density. So I'm talking about caves. I'm talking about certain areas like that little what is it? The Centaur area in Thousand Needles. There's certain areas that just have a ton of mining nodes there. So imagine, and another one that comes to mind is Alterac Mountains. So you know those caves with the Yetis and Alterac Mountains, and even those elites, always so much veins in there. So imagine you go in there and you mine everything. You know, it'll probably take you a couple minutes to do that. You swap layers, and you pretty much know that as long as there's going to be nodes in those caves, right? So that's another thing. AoE leveling, pretty much just AoEing stuff out in the open world is probably going to be stronger. So stuff respawns on a 5 minute, generic stuff respawns on a 5 minute timer. So it may not be the type of thing where you can do it non-stop and just keep swapping layers non-stop. But pretty much after you do a big AoE pull, if your layering cooldown is off, you could swap to another layer and then kill everything again. And then, you know, just every time that your layering cooldown would be off, you could swap and just get another set of whatever you're farming. Okay, $2 donation, Cultural Preservation. Add-on for Classic showing enemy CB's spell name. Any enemy CBs. Enemy CDs? You talking about? Enemy coolers? You can do weak ores for that, if that's what you're talking about. Oh, cast bars. Oh, yeah, classic cast bars. There you go. Cargos, are you doing your thing again? Beats watching TV, film, or anything else? Just saying. Very kind of you to say. Yeah, we pretty much have
Add-on for
close to 2K people in here.
CVs
Kind of insane.
name.
Kind of insane. The hype for Classic is actually, I can see it. I can see it in the chat right now. People are excited, bro. Even me ripping on layering, there's still like 2K people in here super hyped for Classic. I'm hyped for it. Again, at the end of the day, I'm hyped for it. It's going to be undoubtedly some of the best years of my life. Call me a neckbeard man-child, call me whatever you want. It is going to be a friggin' era. It is going to be sweet, man. I am hyped. What is it? T-minus... Yeah, T-minus 4 hours still. Okay, so AoE leveling... You know, this is kind of TBD. And this kind of speaks towards that Monkey News clip. You don't really know the full implications of layering until we're crossing that bridge. But how feels bad, man, would that be if someone found some kind of game-breaking way to take advantage of it? Like, there's some big brains out there that will find a way. Oh, M. Ferna, 1990. The 500 biddy donation, my man. Got remote desktop set up so I can reserve names from work. Nice, man. Thank you very much for the 500 biddies. And S. Belwa subscribed to Twitch Prime. Welcome to the channel, man. Thank you very much for the subscription. So this is the type of stuff that's kind of TBD. But it would feel bad if like the top people at 60 were a bunch of mages because they did something related to layering, manipulating it in a certain way. This is not necessarily just AoE leveling. This could be, for example, I'm thinking about this. As a warlock, I'm trying to get Shadow Silk. Shadow Silk drops off high-level spiders. But one area that drops it that are still kind of low-level spiders is Swamp of Sorrows. So next to Stoneard, there's an area with a bunch of spiders that have a 10% drop chance of the Shadow Silk, and you can gather them all up and make it into 3 AoE pulls. And I did that when I was leveling my prop pally a few months ago. So stuff like that comes to mind, like, man, I'm able to kill all those spiders, instantly reset them all by hopping to another layer and kill them again, farm up so much Shadow Silk. This is stuff that goes through my mind, man. Yeah, rare spawns, we talked about that. Lootable quest items. Another thing, like, let's think of some examples. Lootable quest items. What about Chen's Empty Keg? Stuff that you just have to loot that's... Oh, another donation. $5 from Alex Broad. Layers
increase supply, lowering prices. More players increases demand, increasing prices. Net effect unclear. Monopoly on an item or recipe equals God.
Yeah, okay. I like what you said. Net effect unclear. A lot of it's unclear. It's true, man. Thank you for the $5, Alex. We'll see what happens. But the way I'm looking at this right now, guys, is this is a new game, man. New meta, new pacing of content. This is a new game. It's a new game. It's not exactly vanilla WoW, and I'm still excited to play it. It's going to be a new meta. Stuff is going to be different. The net effect is unclear. I think that's a good way to describe all of this. The net effect is unclear, but I have some concerns, you know? So, lootable quest items. Chen's Empty Keg. Anything you have to loot off the ground that pretty much will despawn or be somewhat rare. That's an implication. Also, rep grinds. So one thing I'm trying to get really quickly is the Frobog Medicine Pouch. There's all kinds of rep grinds in Classic WoW. Whether you're going for that Winter Spring Saber. So being able to respawn mobs to do that. World PvP raids. So during one of the stress tests, we tried to raid some of the Alliance towns. I think we went over to Goldshire, and there was another raid out there that wanted to World PvP and go storm Goldshire with us, but they're on a different layer, and we couldn't get them to appear on the same layer as us. We had our raid full, and they had their raid full, so we couldn't raid Goldshire with them, and that was just one small instance of an implication of that. Yeah, we talked about layer dodging for dodging ganks, so that's kind of a a duplicate there, but that's very much a thing. If you're getting corpse camped or something like that and you're trying to respawn and escape, maybe you change layers, respawn, run away. Escort quests. So some of the escort quests take a while to respawn after you fail them or something like that. Or let's think about some of the most annoying ones like the Blood Elf guy in Barrens, or that one human guy at the end of that Orc Cave in Redridge. Stuff like this. The fact that you could reset escort quests. Nick Lusma with the £2. Hey, is it viable to quest with 4 or 5 people? I'd say it is. Yeah, it's viable. It's a little bit difficult though, because
to quest with 4 or 5 people.
People want to be an individual, man. People want to be an individual. When you're questing with 4 or 5 people are going to want to be an individual, and the group is just kind of, one person makes a misplay, other people don't want to wait. It's tough to maintain. I would recommend personally questing with one other person. Duo is the sweet spot as far as I'm concerned. As far as open world questing, Duo is the sweet spot, man. You're still able to do the vast majority of quests. They're still totally viable to do, and it's not a huge time sink. Once you get to 3 people and above, some quests are going to kind of have to skip. It's just going to take too long for everything to drop. So I think 2 would be the recommendation, man. How do you swap layers? So, I didn't get to play a ton of the stress
How do you
test.
swap layers?
Some of you guys might be able to answer this better than me, but during some of the early stress tests, you were actually able to see what layer someone was on. If you /hood people, you would see their name and then server, and it would say like 6 next to it or something like that. I feel like they may have removed that on this stress test. I'm not sure. It could have been there though. It very well could have been there. I didn't get to play too much because I was in Philly, right? But it's a type of thing where you would just get invited by someone else, or you have a couple people try to invite you to see if you could get onto another layer. There's probably a way to do it very reliably, and I feel like the chat is going to help answer this. But yeah, I think you're going to be able to reliably do it. Don't even really want to play if there's layering. Well, that's the thing, man. They say it's only gonna last till phase 1 because the world bosses in their mind is gonna be a hard stop. But it almost feels like, what are they gonna do come phase 2 if they still have some huge servers like this? Are they just gonna slap a huge queue on it? TLDR, guys. It's not too late. I still think Blizzard can add more servers. They can do it before they even launch this thing in 4 hours. They could spin up even 4 or 5 more servers, or would go a long ways. Would go a long ways. And we're not all experts here, but how many servers would you guys think would be reasonable for NA, for EU, for the different territories? Because right now we have 11 in America. I think EU has like 5 or something like that, PvP ones at least. I'm not exact. Let me see if it shows the EU one here. It should. How many does EU have, guys? Oceanic gets 2, 1 PvE, PvP. 30 NA servers. NA 16 servers. I mean, yeah, more than 11, right? More than 11, dude. Please, more than 11. Because all these layering problems, I do think get exacerbated by having the Metropolis mega servers. Got another donation coming, I can hear it.
How do we reserve our name? Is it by logging on to the client or on the Battle.net website? Also, what do you think of druids? I really love them, but I keep hearing they're trash in Classic.
Esteban Hermandes, thank you very much for the $3, bro. So the way I believe you do it, and chime in the chat if this is incorrect, but this is the assumption that I'm operating on, is that you just go right into your game, into your client. You log in. I've been logging in manually because every time I try and launch it through the BNet, it says you need an active subscription, which is BS because I have an active subscription. So you log into the game client, and then the servers are going to be there, and you're going to be able to create 3 characters per account. So in your game client, Ron Easterly with the $5 for the Horde. Hell yeah, dude, for the Horde. Where my Hordies at in the chat? Better not be any alliance here in the chat, man. No, sir. Yeah, it's basically just making a character. There you go. What do I think about druids? I think druids are really great in Classic WoW, man. I do. I think in PvP, de facto flag carriers, PvE, Nothing mechanically stopping them from main tanking. In fact, some of the best tanks like Skarm, they're gonna choose a druid over a warrior to main tank, even though he's gonna have all the classes of the tank. That's kind of more on the feral side. On the resto side, Hots are susceptible to overhealing, and they have their own set of issues, but druids have very good raid utility, and they also help distribute gear across the raid much more organically. So I don't know. No matter what you want to do with druid, I think that it's going to be a good time in classic. With that said, it's a class that lends itself to people that know already within their heart that they want to play druid. If you're questioning whether or not you want to play druid may not be for you. The druids know who they are, and they're just going to play druid and be successful at it. And it's a great class in vanilla. I can't think of a single class that's trash in classic, as some people would say. There we go. Those are the Hordes in the house. Hell yeah. Cargos, I think you'll be able to delete your reserved character names when they spin up more servers and then recreate them on the new servers. They're starting low, but they will expand after reservations. Let's hope so. Let us hope so. So that's something to be mindful of. Blizzard is likely to put some more servers out there, so I'd keep checking in on it throughout the day and see if they add some new ones. I think it would go a long way, man. So right now, if we had 11, even if we get like 25 servers, man, I feel like that would accomplish a lot of this. And like, do you really think there's going to be less than 25 realms worth of people that want to play classic WoW? I don't think so, man. I also feel bad for the EU guys because they only have 2 PvP servers. Man, there's a lot of different countries in two English PvP servers. I think they have 4 total or something like that. But EU is kind of taking the biggest L, man, because they have the lowest server choice, pretty much. All right. We're going to watch a video here, so I can rest my voice for a second here. I'm a little sick, guys. We're going to watch this video, 10 minutes of layering affecting gameplay in the Classic WoW beta.
Dude, I remember, like, how many of you guys...
I've never seen this before.
Murlocs were...
If it's bad, we'll just stop the video. Let me just rest my voice for a minute.
Because for me, that's what happened. Like, it was the most humbling experience ever. Like, I thought that I ran the fucking game, and I started fighting these Murlocs, and I died. Like, that's what happened to me, at least, like, back in the fucking day.
12 seconds later.
The thing is that, like, realistically, Blizzard's not going to let the servers just crash whenever Classic comes out, right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. So anybody who thought that was going to happen is retarded.
Why'd you cross?
Because I thought we were going to do the bandanas.
Well, then we wanted to get the wood?
Yeah.
All right, never mind. We're not going to watch this. It's kind of boring. All right, anyway, let's go to another topic. My voice feels better now. A little sick today, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm trying to just stay like keep my voice in shape, man. So I want to talk about streamer servers. You saw Asmongold down there, very polarizing figure. You love him or you hate him. Seems like the majority of people love him. How you handle your level 1, 2, 3 spells? You use them all.
At what time can we reserve our name?
Oh shoot, we got some donations. E-Wave with a 1337. At what time can you reserve our name? So we are about 3.5 hours away. 3.5 hours away.
Spells USEM on all.
3.5 hours. Thank you very much for the donation, man. Man, a lot of donations. How you handle your 1, 2, 3 spells? Yeah, generally those early spells you're just going to train. There's a few exceptions to the rule.
Only have one PvE server. Drake Dog LEINTIME will not come back.
A Barth donated $5. Korea will only have one server. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. You'd think that they would at least do a PvE and a PvP for each kind of territory, but guess not. RIP. Okay, so streamer servers. This is a polarizing topic. This is a juicy topic, guys. We're gonna create a list of the pros, and we're gonna create a list of the cons of streamers in Classic WoW in general. All right, we'll start with the pros here.
I wish the large streamers would be just upfront about the server they are choosing.
$5 from Pogren. Hey Pogren, good to see you, man. Here's the thing though, I think a lot of the streamers don't necessarily want to play with other streamers too. I know some of them, like I think the classic ass dudes want to play all together and create kind of a big rivalry, but like I don't know, I'm a streamer and I kind of wanted to kind of be off and kind of doing my own thing with some other people. So I don't know. We talked about this earlier. It's the type of thing where it seems like with so few servers, there's really no way to avoid streamers, like big streamers. You're going to have these big e-celeb types on your server. It's kind of inevitable, dude, until they spin up some more. But let's talk about the pros and cons of streamers, guys. The pros and cons, okay? This is spicy, man. This is spicy. And I'm a streamer, so this all applies to me too. Let me talk about the pros. Here's probably a big pro. If you have active streamers on a server, that server will be harder to die. All right? What do you guys think about that? Pretty simple stuff, right? Too easy. Like, you have a streamer who's actively streaming the server and people are watching and like, what server are you playing on, man? Oh, I'm playing on, you know, White Main. And people are like, oh man, you're playing on White Main. Cool. Looks like they have an active community on White Main. Let's go on White Main. So it seems like that'd be one thing. Servers, how do we say this? Servers won't die. Yeah, that's good enough for now. We'll improve it. It'll be easier to die because if he takes a break or quits, it'll die fast. What if the streamer leaves? When they leave, it dies? Ooh. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's such a time investment in Classic to create characters. It takes so long that I don't think... You think people are just going to leave? Like, when you create a character and level it to 60, dude, that's taken months, man. Like, I don't know. If just because a streamer leaves, you already have a level 60, you're just going to go re-roll. I don't know. I think it's a net positive. It's a net gain for the server. It's going to be much harder for that server to die out with streamers. You get a free shout out if you camp them. Okay. So let's think of some other pros to having streamers on here, man. Other pros to having streamers. I'd say more community events, more server events. You know, we see stuff like dueling tournaments. This is something I want to do for show. Dueling tournaments, even like scavenger hunts, stuff like that. That's probably going to be a pro. I mean, you can still have that without the streamer, but I don't know. It's more incentive to do it because the streamer's trying to create content and stuff like that. All the incentives are aligned. So I think there's going to be more server events. Servers won't die. Also, kind of epic world PvP, I have to say. It's going to be kind of juicy ganking streamers and seeing their reactions. You know, it was kind of fun watching Uga Gang kill people, you know what I mean, and kill streamers. It was cool seeing the different, you know, streamer communities like fighting in the zones. I wasn't even really part of that because I joined the beta late. I was off getting married, you know, go figure. But watching that from the outside, it looked kind of dope when they had these big, organized, big scale battles out in the different zones, and it seems like the streaming kind of streaming is like a platform to organize those events kind of organically. So I think, you know, more PvP brawls or something like that. I don't know, man. Let's see if you guys think of any other better economy and more dungeon raid groups with a streamer. Think so? Fuller auction house ganking them. I mean, a lot of people can't wait to gank streamers. You know, one's in the chat if you actually can't wait to gank streamers. Like, there's a lot of people. That's a big thing. I'm rolling on a PvP server. I'm expecting for it to be super dangerous stepping out into the open world. When I step out in the open world, I am rolling with a healer, like, at all times. I'm going to assume that I have 2 gnome rogues on my ass at any given time. And I think that's actually kind of cool. Yo, we're getting somewhere. I think the world's going to feel more dangerous. With streamers, the world is going to feel more dangerous, man. Because people are trying to, like, you know, a lot of these personalities you either love or hate. And maybe that's only going to be for the streamer. And I think the world's going to be more dangerous, dude. Because there's more of an incentive and, like, this other incentive to kill people out in the world. You know, not just farming honor. There's this whole new thing, a whole new reason to be in a zone in PvP because you have these people streaming and these different warring factions and stuff. I also think it's a good way to track the server narrative. So a server's going to unfold, right? And sometimes you have server drama and you have different guilds that are beefing with each other, or people steal each other's bosses, or whatever it might be, ninja looting or whatever. Being able to watch streamers, you know, from different perspectives is going to create kind of a juicier server narrative. Yeah. Creates good. All this shit is not really well worded, but I'm just freestyling pretty much. What are other pros of streamers? You'll get more community feeling, the more people, the more friends to make. I'm going to gank streamers with a druid. You need 12 healers? Ah, man, it's going to be spicy walking out in the open world, man. It's going to be rough. Okay. All right, well, we'll move on. If you think of any pro or any con about streamer servers, or having big streamers on servers, just put it in the chat. Doesn't have to be a pro, doesn't have to be a con. We're just looking for good points here. Probably have to create a couple different slides for this. We could talk about cons, though. Let's talk about cons, dude. Now it's about to get spicy, dude. Cons. What do you guys think, chat? Cons of having big streamers on servers. Let me think, man. Where do I start? And this kind of applies to myself, too. So maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here by even talking about this. But when you're starting off on this adventure, and you're starting off on a fresh realm, fresh launch, I feel like people want to feel like it's even. Like everybody's starting from the same place. Right? Everybody is in this new world, new environment. It's part of the allure of a fresh server. And you're there, and you're just equals with everybody else. And it's just this fair, savage playing field. And when you have like big e-celeb type people on a server, it doesn't feel fair anymore, to be honest. It kind of feels like they're going to get all this free shit, and that they're going to like... Okay, let me see what you guys think. Con. Hounders of fanboys lagging out the server. I mean, also like queues and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the streamer servers will probably be more populated too. That's probably a pro though. So I think that's one thing. Kind of unfair advantage. That's probably the best way to describe it. Unfair advantage. Like whether you're just getting donated gold. That actually happened. That happened to me a couple times. I didn't ask for anything, but somebody would just come up and just trade me a bunch of potions, like FAPs and stuff. I mean, shout out to you, Finian. I remember when Finian did that to me. That was pretty nice of you, but I could see people feeling that certain kind of way. Streamer privilege. There you go. Fanboy hatred. You gank a streamer or tag something they want and their horde of flunkies riot. Yeah, that's another thing too. I know some people watch that Soda Poppin' clip where he was like saying everybody's gonna get blacklisted if you stream snipe. How do you guys feel about stream sniping in general? This is how I feel about stream sniping, man. Anybody play Halo 2 back in the day growing up? Like, or anybody play GoldenEye, the era of split screen? Some people would try to come up when you go over to your friend's house and you play split screen, you would be like, no looking at each other's screens, no looking at each other's screens, man. Like, that's unfair, no looking. But everybody was looking at each other's screens. It's just human nature. If it's possible to go look at someone's screen, people are going to do it. And you kind of just have to assume everybody's doing it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just the con of streaming, man. If you stream, people are going to be able to look at your screen. Con, you won't be playing classic WoW. You'll be playing a streamers-driven version of WoW. Events are cool and all, but niche. No one should get any special treatment on a PvP. And that's the balance. So, actually, the original stream sniping, yeah, the split screen first-person shooters, right? GoldenEye, Halo, looking at where people are on Blood Gulch, you know, and sniping them with the pistol and shit. That was kind of the original version of stream sniping. That's a good point. Well, that's kind of the checks and balances, though. It's good that there are checks and balances, right? Yeah, if you stream and you get like a big following, people like you, and they're going to give you free shit like gold and stuff, that's great. That's a big pro, man. You're going to have all that. But the checks and balances is that you're probably going to get stream sniped, and people are going to try to come at you because they don't like you or whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to kind of accept it. But on the same note, what Soda Poppin' was saying is what he was saying actually that bad? Because imagine you're playing, right? And people are sniping me, and it feels like they're sniping me. Wouldn't that be fair for me or another streamer to say like, yo, if you see these people, kill them on sight? Like, you used to do that all the time on the Discord, kill on sight list. You'd made a little thing and you put the guy's name in there who is just being a dick, because you can be a dick in classic WoW. So at the same time, I think what he was saying about kill these people on sight, make sure they're not able to, you know, do anything, that seems pretty fair too, just in the same vein. Streamer goes alliance and we'll have 90-10 ally horde. Oh, that's a great con, dude. That's a great con. Faction imbalance. What do you guys feel about this? How do you feel about faction imbalance, dude? That's something that concerns me, man. This actually concerns me, dude. Even on our own server. I know there's one guild on our server. Shout out to let me abbreviate there. Shout out to Kel'Thuzad loves orange soda. That guild, I'll just say their name. Fuck it, I put them on blast. I know some guilds that are rolling on our server that specifically want to gank us, you know, and that's kind of what they hope to accomplish. They want to roll on our server just to have that competition there in PvP. I'm glad, I really am glad, because that could seriously be a problem. Okay, imagine this. So imagine you know Asmongold's server, right? Some people are going to want to gank him, but at least if it was me and if I was on that server, it was a PvP server, if I was against Soda Poppin' or something, I know like there's this big PvP community. Or imagine rolling against apes on a server, like really set up, experienced PvPers, they're streaming, they have a big following, they're going to have access to all the consumables and all this. Are you going to want to go up against them? Probably not, dude. I would just try and find a different server that didn't have those type of people on there, to be honest. It can kind of be intimidating to go on a server and the other side has like these really huge, like this. Is there a chance that the server unfolds and instead of like this organic server narrative, it's like this streamer versus streamer narrative? Ooh, man, that might be a big yikes if that's the case. You know, imagine your server unfolds and every server kind of has a story behind it, and like who the first guilds were, you know, first rag kill, all this, who the best players are. And imagine if it's characterized by, you know, these figureheads on either side, of just streamers on either side. Ah, man, it's a different era we're living in, dude. Spitting straight facts right here. I mean, we're trying, man. We're just feeling it out. If you have any pros, any cons of streamers, big streamers on servers, voice them, guys. Let's get it out there. Let's get this information out to the community. Let me blow my nose real quick. Don't want to do that on the mic. Alright, feel better. People really inflate how much impact the streamers will have on faction balance. I don't know, man. Let's do a straw poll. Let's do a straw poll. Will streamers cause severe faction imbalance? Yes, no, unsure. Alright, I'll put a straw poll in the chat. Love the straw polls. Absolutely love them. Fantastic way to get to feel out where you guys are at. This is something that definitely concerns me, man. Because what fun is it if you're on a server and, you know, yeah, what if you get the rank 14 weapon, or you get rank 14 weapons, or you get all this good gear, but then there's no one to play with, and there's not really good competition on the other side. Actually, dude, that may not be that big of a deal, though. You know why? You know why that may not be that big of a deal? Because they're gonna do, likely, one battle group per region. Right? I think they're gonna have one battle group per region. I think all of NA is just gonna play with each other. All of EU is gonna play with each other. Maybe that's the play. Roll on like a dead server, try and get all the good gear, and then cross realm BG it with your battle group. Fear.by, subscribe to Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, dude. There will be fans rolling on their faction, but as many people rolling against. You think so, QT? Here's the thing, man. So, one of the best ways to gauge if people are liking your content or not, at least on YouTube, is to see the like to dislike ratio. And a lot of people will just dislike your videos because they don't like you, because you have bad, you know, their personality doesn't mesh with them or whatever. So I do think, you know, every streamer, every content creator is gonna have a portion of people that really don't like them, and it's just gonna downvote their shit, is gonna try and gank them and do that. But that's one thing I've noticed when I just look at the views. Like, even if there are certain content creators that I don't really like, you go look at their content, and still you see like an 80-20 like to dislike ratio usually. You know what I mean? It seems like 20% of people may really be against them and want to gank them like crazy, and will do everything in their power to prevent them from succeeding. But it feels like 80% of the people are supporting them. And I feel like that might be the case for all the real streamers, man. Code Blue with the 1,000 biddies. Thank you so much, dude. Hey, Cargo, someone sampled the population of Stalag before it went down. Have a look if you're going to talk about choosing a class this late in the game. Some people might still be on the fence. 2,000 biddies. Oh, man, Code Blue. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, let me take a look. Let me take a look, man. Let me take a look, dude. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. Yeah, we can pull this up on the stream here. Have not seen this. Fresh info right here. Okay. So what we're looking at right now is US PvP server class populations. Horde characters scanned 3,000. Alliance characters scanned 16,467. Why are there so little Horde characters? That's looking like some faction imbalance right there. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to scan the Horde as much as I'd like, but I'm doubtful. Oops. There we go. But I'm doubtful the class percentages would have changed much. I ran the census every night for Alliance except the first day where I did not run it at all. Okay, let's take a look. Horde class percentages. Most played class Warrior. Pretty expected. But after Warrior, dude, super even, man. Just a couple percentage points separating the vast majority of the classes with Druid at the bottom, which was also kind of something that we would have predicted. Compared to private servers, it's actually a bit more Warlocks. A bit more Warlocks than we traditionally see on a lot of the private servers. But that is Horde, by the way, too. Alliance should have less Warlocks. I'm just, I'm thinking. Yep, Alliance Warlocks less. Look at that, 9%, of course. So a bit more, a bit bigger of a spread, about a 9% spread on Alliance and only a 3% spread on Horde. Interesting. You guys surprised by this, or is this about makes sense? I'm pleasantly surprised by this. It just really goes to show that a 112 environment of vanilla, people have said that it's one of the most balanced patches ever to have existed in World of Warcraft. And dude, the numbers aren't lying. There are reasons to play every class, and just take a look. You'll love to see that. That's awesome. That's exciting. White TV subscribe to Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, man. Shamans are super high. Yeah, I got a sense over the beta and stuff, and even the demo. Shamans are going to be really popular. There's something about the Shaman class. People just love Shamans, man. Sounds cool, looks cool. You have some casted spell damage. You have some melee damage. You can heal. Shamans can do it all. Can you post a link to that post? Yeah, sure, man. You can post a link to it. There you go. Alright, let's get back to the streamer. The juicy streamer talk, man. Alright. So cons. Unfair advantage. Faction imbalance. Is this a corny one? Is this a cringe one? Loss of immersion or intimacy? Sound like a freaking relationship coach, dude. Loss of intimacy? I don't know. This one I'm unsure about. Let's talk it out. If you have big streamers with big followings and lots of memes being spammed in the chat nonstop, and all of this, does that translate into a loss of immersion or less of a feeling of having a small, static, intimate community? Does it? It's a question. I actually don't know. I feel like it might, but I have to think about the reasons why. Tefista, subscribe to Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, Tefista. Inf to Asmon layer. That's the meme, right? Inf to Asmon layer. It does, but why does it? It's hard to put your finger on why it does, though. Why does it translate into that? I feel like it might. Oh, man. There's a lot of people in the chat, man. This is crazy. About 2,500 across everything, so it's hard to keep up with the chat, but... Okay, it's not how general chat becomes streamer Twitch chat. Ooh. Ooh, I've never thought about that. General chat becomes streamer Twitch chat. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, is that possible? So many people are watching the stream at the same time that people are commenting about the stream in the chat, in the actual general chat. Dude, I never thought about that before till just now. Is that possible? Did anybody see that on the? Think about that. Imagine if, I mean, for my stream, it's not that crazy, but imagine if you were one of the big boys streaming, you have like 10K people watching you. That's more than the amount of people on your whole server online. I mean, on your whole. No, I guess the servers have like 80 to 100K now. Holy moly! But that's a lot of people watching. So it's possible. And what if you have 2-3 streams going on at the same time? What if someone's in general chat saying like, "Yo, you watching Cargo stream right now? He just killed some guy." Like, I don't know. That might be a big yikes. That would be cancer. 500 bits from Mega Boss. Thanks for the advice, guides, and thoughtful discussion. Thank you, dude. That's so nice of you, dude. Thanks for the 500 bits. That's really nice of you to say, man. The streamer will get insane loot priority and be OP and followed by pocket healers. Now, in a way, that's bad, right? Because it's the unfair advantage. But it's also kind of cool in a way. Like, you just have this, like, godfather boss guy. You know, because people cling to that, where you have this, like, god mode guy who has a feared reputation because wherever he is. Imagine you're a warrior and you roll around with 3 pocket healers and you see him out in the open world and he has this legendary reputation, like almost like the Black Riders from Lord of the Rings. You know, you see them rolling around the world, and you know, like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. That's kind of cool in a way too. It kind of maybe balances out. When can we reserve names? We can reserve names in a little bit over 3 hours, and you're just gonna log right into the client and create a character. You can do your whole cosmetics and all that stuff, man. In 3 hours, you get every account gets access to 3. Oh, yo, another tip for you guys, because I did this too, is you can make another account. So you can, and you don't have to buy BFA. At least that's my thinking on it right now. It looks like it's going to work this way. You can make another account for free and just do that. Just do the 1 month sub. Just do the 1 month sub instead of buying BFA. So you have an active sub, and then it's looking like you're going to be able to reserve 3 more on that secondary account. You still have time to do it. Super easy to do. It takes like 5 minutes if you guys want to do that. But a populated server will make rank 14 easier. More people equal more rank 14. Yeah, it's tough. More people equal more rank 14. I don't know if it's that simple. So let's think about that. More people on a big mega server equals more rank 14. So on a small static server with no layers, with 3K people on it or 5K people on it, to a certain extent, it seems like it could be easier to get bracket 1 every time because there's going to be less competition and you're just going to be rolling with the best, and it's going to be so hard to contest you. So you may be just winning every BG, you may be farming the most honor, and you're able to control the brackets a lot better or a lot more reliably. But on a huge mega pop server, that's cross realm and cross layer and cross realm, maybe it's harder to be 100% the best. You're going to have more competition. You're going to have more people trying to break brackets because there's so many people in there. And that's a big thing, man, about breaking brackets, right? You've heard about this term, breaking brackets. So after the honor resolves each week, the player base is broken down into brackets and you're assigned your RP based on what bracket you're in. And that's a big thing when you're pushing for those final ranks to try and preserve the integrity of the brackets. If someone breaks brackets, you have to work super hard and get back on top again. So I don't know if it's going to be easier or harder. I really don't know. I want to ask some people who are big brain PvPers. What is this Thex meme, dude? Everyone keeps spamming Thex and classic. Wow, I feel like this is one of the Zoomer memes that I missed out on. What is this Thex nonsense? Drama and the server basically becomes based around the big streamers. That, if I had to pick one thing that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth, it's probably that. How do you guys feel about that? If your server narrative ends up being streamers on both sides just going at it, talking about it, it just is not going to feel the same, dude. I don't know how to describe it that well, but I got a taste of that on the beta. I'm not, you guys have to keep in mind, I'm new to streaming in general, so it makes sense, but I'm not really one of the Twitch cool kids. I don't really, know even how a lot of this stuff works still. And, you know, the beta was cool and all, but was kind of feeling like it was very insular. Like, you had some top streamers, they were all doing stuff together, and it was just, it was a different feel, man. I don't know. It didn't give me those nostalgic era vibes. It was kind of like, you know, we're playing this game in 2019 now. It's a whole nother beast, man. It's a whole nother beast. Like, the whole culture around gaming. I don't know how to describe it, dude. How big of an effect do you think RCR will have on Classic? Right-click reporting? That's kind of TBD. It seems like a lot of decisions Blizzard is making, too. I don't know if you guys agree or not. It's kind of feels like they're trying to put the game on maintenance mode. They're trying to take the path of least resistance. They don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. They don't think it's going to make that big of a splash. They're trying to set things up so it's going to cost them the least and have the least amount of physical man hours involved with the game. RCR is one example of this. The idea of the low servers. I don't know if the low servers suggest that. That could be off base. Influencers ruin the world. Oh, man. I don't know, dude. Is there a way to be a streamer that's good for the server? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Just play on EU? Yeah, the EU's taking an L, dude. How much time do you think you'll need for 60? I mean, I'd say for the average player, how long is it going to take the average player to hit 60, guys? Predictions. Or what do you think, just the average player? I'm going to guess probably 10 days. 10 days played. So take 10 days played, 24 hours a day, and break that up into however much you're going to play per week or per day, and you'll be able to find the answer. RCR will be good against gold sellers. Yeah. I could see that, right? But at the same time, am I just going to get insta-banned? Like, what if I just get right-click reported by like 100 people in the chat? Don't I just get banned? I feel like that might happen. And if my whole thing, wow, there's over 2,000 people watching on YouTube, dude. That might be a new personal record right there, dude. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I feel like if they just set the bar really high, you know, like it would take 500 reports to get someone banned, maybe it wouldn't be that impactful, the whole RCR thing. But what's the point of even having it then, though? What's the point of even having it if it's not actually going to do anything? That's what I'm used to when it comes to right-click reporting in other games like Dota, Counter-Strike. How many times do you report people at the end of a match and it does nothing? It's like zero impact, does nothing. That's what I was thinking about RCR. So I haven't been too concerned about RCR because I was thinking about it in the same way. Blizzard's just going to set the bar super high, and it's just going to be a way for people to feel like they're able to like vent and report someone for being a dick, but it doesn't in actuality do anything. But if they set it low enough for it to actually do something, all the streamers are probably going to be like insta-banned. Go Horde White Mane, we will honor you. Holy moly, dude. Dusty boy in the house, dude. Rogue class leader Invictus. What is up, my man? Gifting 5 tier 1 subs, dude. Thanks so much, dude. Cryox, Airred, Slug, Dazzy, Rabadu Uprising. Welcome to the channel, Dust. Thanks very much, Dusty. Can't wait to play with you, bro. If it takes that many reports to actually ban someone, then no streamer is safe. Yeah? More people will fallaciously report streamers than legitimately report gold spammers, so there isn't a number that they could set that would work. I kind of agree with that, actually. Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I don't know what they're going to do. It seems like it's going to be in the game. They even confidently said the other day that, yes, RCR will be in the game 100%. Jib subscribed to Twitch Prime, dude. Thank you very much, dude. Cargos, dude, you really need a logo or some of sort of that Twitch. Your profile pic with the white shirt makes it super hard for me to find you on the follow list. Okay, thanks. Good feedback, good feedback. Yeah, I'm pretty noob when it comes to Twitch stuff for show. Alright, let's think of some more stuff. Cons, pros and cons. Maybe let's think of a pro now. We've been dwelling on the cons. Okay, pro of having big streamers on servers. Let's think. I'm gonna need your help on this one, chat. I'm freestyling. This is just off the top. Streamers might get fed HKs due to a fan base. Oh man, I mean it's possible. Here's the thing. Remember, I just asked the question a few minutes ago of what it would be to be a good streamer on a server. Is I do think you actually kind of have to avoid streamer privilege, man. I'm gonna definitely try to. It's kind of inevitable, but favoritism turns people off. That's why we have DKP in our guild. We kind of have a modified version of DKP because when it starts feeling like there's favorites and it's unfair, it feels bad, dude. A streamer will probably tip the faction balance. Oh, let's take a look at that straw poll actually. So we put a straw poll in here asking if you guys think streamers would cause a severe faction imbalance. Okay, the overwhelming majority of you guys think yes, that there will be severe faction imbalance. Oh man, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plans out. I'm definitely concerned on our own realm that might be the case. That definitely concerns me. So, to get back to the original point, I think that Blizzard, if they added another 10 to 20 realms or something like that, would give people the ability to dodge streamers if they do so desire. Because there's two different types of people out there. Not necessarily two, there's probably more, but some people enjoy the pros of having streamers on streamers on their server, big streamers, big personalities that are making content and stuff, and some people might not, right? So creating more servers will offer different experiences for different people. I know a lot of people would be super relieved. Super relieved if they had more servers. What if someone steals cargoes? Dude, I'm already expecting cargoes to be stolen, man. There's only 11 servers, so I'll probably just rebrand my whole channel. Cargoes, do you know if any streamers are going to be on Herod or Thanos? I have no idea, dude. No idea. No idea. Pro, advertising for the game. That's a great pro. Guys, has anybody been shocked by the lack of advertising for Classic WoW? It does really feel like Blizzard thinks it's not that big of a deal, that it's only a small niche of people that want to play this game. I don't think they've done really any formal advertising. None of the old commercials have come back. They haven't started airing the original trailer in different places. Really, the only advertising this game has had has been through streamers. And streamers have probably benefited the hype of the game. Blizzard doesn't care about... Okay, I'll tell you another thing, though. It turns me off. Dude. This is another thing. How do you guys feel about this? Listen up. If you guys are half awake, I want to make this point. How do you guys feel about Blizzard interacting directly with streamers and content creators? Directly interacting with them. In the sense of, like, you can tweet at them, you can do stuff and Blizzard will respond. Bro, that's just, it's so bizarre to me. It's so bizarre to me. Growing up, when we were playing these Blizzard games, it always felt like Blizzard had better stuff to do. They were off making the game amazing. They were off, like there was kind of like a professional kind of arm's length type relationship with Blizzard. Kind of help preserve the immersion, preserve a lot of that. It feels like nowadays you could just tweet at them and they'll respond, they'll react, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. Depends on the interaction. True, depends on the interaction. But imagine Blizzard would reserve the names for you, or you think Blizzard would protect people from stream snipe? Probably not. No, there's no way they wouldn't do that. That's too crazy. But I don't know, man. Like the fact that you can tweet at them and kind of get some kind of response from them. Just so bizarre to me, dude. We're in a different world now. It is just such a different world. Why would Blizzard want Classic to be a success? Do you guys feel that same way? Please type something in the chat about how you feel about this. I'm really genuinely curious. It feels like Blizzard doesn't really believe in Classic that much with their expectations. Maybe they're just being conservative, and maybe the data is suggesting that it's not going to be that big of a deal. But it seems like they're treating it like their redheaded stepchild or something. Like they're doing it like because they're like, okay, you guys want Classic, fine. Here you go, dude. Here's Classic. Will you guys shut up now? Like, here you go. Here's Classic, guys. Sometimes it feels like that. They want it to fail? I mean, you think, I don't know if they wanted it to fail. Yeah, it's insulting to their devs to have 15-year-old game outshine retail. Yeah, it does feel like that sometimes, man. And it feels like they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Like, so to go back to these realm names too. Even if they have the capabilities to spin up tons of servers and like there's this advanced layering mechanic, when someone's telling you about how hype Classic is, and they're like, yo, dude, you gotta play Classic, like, best game ever is coming back. And then you see, like, 11 servers? Just feels like kind of a small deal, dude. Feels just like a tiny little niche, like a little, to service a small little fledgling community. I don't know. Kind of, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you set the server amount too low, if your estimations are too conservative, if your plan is too conservative, it may be kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that like shoots the game in the foot a little bit. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Soda just tweeted they will play on Fairlina. There you go. I think streamer servers might screw up the economy. Asmongold will eventually be accepting gold trades, creating a bit of monopoly when it comes to gold making. Yep. Yep. How can they sell DLC of Classic outshines the other one? How you guys feeling about that too? Do you think Classic is going to be bigger than BFA? I know I've asked this before in the past, but it's weird. Like, with all this kind of doom posting about Classic, and even to see some of the decisions they've made, I'm a little bit more on the fence now. I hope it's very successful. If you asked this question a couple months ago, what would the chat be? The chat would be like, yes, dude, way bigger than BFA, dude. Triple the amount of BFA. If you asked the chat a little while ago, people would be like, yeah, no chance. BFA is gonna get crushed. I don't know, man. Now I'm not so sure. I sure hope so. Blizzard is a business. They would not invest the resources money without positive returns. How the hell did you get to the server name list, dude? Oh, they announced these a few days ago, bro. These are the NA server realms. Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like everything. Okay. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to this slide. I'm gonna create another list here. Okay, dynamic respawns, layering, lost layer, AH, mega servers, all these things, right? There's more. There's a bigger list too, but dynamic respawns, looking like we're having that as well. Layering, cross layer AH, mega servers, all this stuff messes with the pacing of content. It messes with the static communities. Everything they could have done, they kind of did. The Classic, I have to say. So, man, fingers crossed. I hope they don't drop the ball with it. I hope it's going to be good. I'm excited to make my character in a few hours here. On the EU side, we have only 2 PvP servers, Omega Law. I feel for the EU guys, man. Not a lot of choices for them. The game speaks for itself, all influences aside. I would agree with that. That's something we said many, many months ago. As long as Blizzard just keeps the lights on and doesn't mess with the game too much, the game is going to be successful because it's so good. Classic is going to have extreme traffic for a month, but after 3 months it's going to drop just because of the gamers today are just not as hardcore as they like quality of life stuff too much. Big streamers going Fairlina. Good to know. Good to know, man. O'Malley09, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub, dude. What class is going to be the easiest to get into group raid with if I'm going to be a slow leveler to 60? What class is going to be the easiest to get into a group or a raid with? Easiest class. Probably priest. Priest or paladin. $5 from THC Force Ghost. Cargoes could be 11 physical servers, but could be 10 layers per server. The physical infrastructure can be super powerful. But THC, this is what we've been talking about, though. So if we have 10 layers per server and an Omega server, it's going to exacerbate the effects of layering, less server pride, all these things that we talked about, right?
Cargoes could be 11 physical servers, but could be 10 layers per server. The physical infrastructure can be super powerful.
Yeah, so all these issues potentially get more exacerbated when you have these big Metropolis type servers. What is the hardest class to play? They're all. Is it a fair statement to say they're all equally hard when played at a really high level? I feel like all the classes have a lot of nuance to them. You can like try and make generalizations and say like Paladin's a little bit easier to execute, stuff like that. But we all know different enthusiasts of different classes and specs. And if you're playing at this game at a pretty high level, and you're down ranking, you're using consumables, you're using engineering items, you're using offhands, you're doing everything you need to do. Every class in the game has a ton of complexity to it, to the point where it's so hard to compare them that you might as well just say they're all like kind of equally hard to play. PvE mage is easy. Yeah, sort of. Frostbolt a lot. It's true. Big time quests like Scarab and having streamers, followers get them all the items and materials that are needed, giving a huge advantage to world first events. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely. Alright, guys. I kind of said my piece here. I don't want to keep you guys here if I'm not putting out good content, if I'm not talking about relevant stuff. Again, not feeling too well today, so apologize if I'm coming off like a bummer. I'm just concerned about some stuff, but at the end of the day, Classic's coming. I couldn't be more excited to go on this great journey with you guys. It's gonna be great, and thank you so much for your support over the weeks. We're gonna be reserving character names in 3 hours here. So set your clock, set your alarm clocks, go take a nap, do whatever you got to do. But in 3 hours' time, we're gonna be reserving our characters, and yeah. So I'm going to end the stream here, guys, and try and get a little bit more rest, get some food in me. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.